Coming to you on this Wednesday, July 17th from Lisbon, Portugal on the Ultimate World Cruise. And what you're looking at here is a time lapse of us sailing in. You can see that bridge is the sister bridge to the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, built by the same company. So this time lapse is us coming up the river estuary off the Atlantic Ocean into the port of Lisbon. And it was an absolutely beautiful day today. High 70s, low 80s, crystal clear skies. Perfect day to be touring around Lisbon. Now this is the old city that you're looking at. That dock right there is where we're going to turn around 180 degrees and dock. Right there. That mound of a hill you can see there is the old city of Lisbon, which has been around since Roman times. Right? This city was originally founded by the Romans sometime before Christ, and they were here until the Romans fell sometime around 500, and then other people occupied until the Muslims, Ottoman Empire came in 700, and they were here from 700 till 1147 when the Christians retook the city. So we walked from the ship up to this vantage point up above the old city. We did a total of 6.5 miles walking today. And you are looking down on the old city there. Serenade of the Seas is docked. And that area right in front of you there is the part that's been around since the Roman times, the old city, which we walked up through, winding staircases and narrow streets. And here's another vantage point up a little higher. Look at how that beautiful bougainvillea grows there on the right. And what do you know, when you get to the top of the hill, what do you find? It's another castle, a fortification. This one built by the Muslims, the Ottomans, when they were here sometime after 700, probably 700 to 1000. And this sign just reminds me that Christians retook the city in 1147, and that chapel there in the castle has been in operation since 1147. But this is a good shot of the estuary. You see how it widens out in front of the old city. It's narrow coming up under that bridge you can see on the right. That's the sister bridge to the Golden Gate, built by the same company after the Golden Gate was completed. But it's relatively narrow down there, and then it widens into this huge bay here that was perfect for all the folks that originally they all came by ship here. So this is the home of Vasco da Gama, who was the first guy to sail around the southern tip of Africa and get the trade route into India for the spice trade. And you're going to see his grave coming up. He's buried in the cathedral here in Lisbon, so we'll show you that a little later on. So this is a good shot of the old downtown area down there. See the red roofs over to the left side are the old city, and then you see the more white traditional roofs over on the right. Those are the new houses that were built, after World War II. So it's kind of a delineation between the old city and the new by the color of the roofs. So we're going to be walking down there into that city center area after we leave the fort here. But pretty fantastic views all around from up here on the fort. And again, this fort was built by the Ottoman folks, the Muslims, probably between 900 and 1000 AD. There you can see a little better delineation between the red roofs on the left and the whiter, different color roofs on the right. And there's lots of peacocks all over the place up there on this castle hill. So this is the interior fortification, the last wall of defense that the Ottomans built at the very top. And there's a bunch of defensive innovations that they incorporated into this fort to be able to defend it, but it still didn't do them any good in 1147 when they were conquered again by the Christians. So there's a stairway over there to your right. We're going to walk up that stairway and around the ramparts on top of the fort or castle. And it's a little dangerous. That wall over on the left on the rampart walk was really low, and it's like a 40-foot drop down to the courtyard down below. So I'm surprised they didn't put up a handrail to keep people from falling over. So we always have to crawl all the way up. If there's something higher, we got to go up there and look, even though it's only a few feet higher, to get the view. So, yeah, it's beautiful. The country of Portugal has been independent, a republic, I guess, since 1974. They had after World War II, they were controlled by a fascist government, and then up until 1974, when they had their revolt and became an independent republic. So they celebrate, I think it was September or sometime in 1974. So as you walk down from the fort back to the city center, you pass by these ruins of the Roman amphitheater. So these are the oldest ruins that we saw in the city. You can see they have them covered and they're excavating the amphitheater there. So this church is on the way back down from the castle down to the city center. This was built starting in 1147 when the Christians recaptured the country, and they built it on top of the mosque that the Muslims had built. And that steel structure you see down that street was built by the Eiffel Company, same guy that built the Eiffel Tower. It's an elevator. So this is we're down in the city center now, and this plaza here used to be the Roman arena, big wide open plaza. And this arch, we're a little confused. I thought it was originally built something there in honor of Julius Caesar by the Romans, but I think it was later destroyed by the earthquake they had here and rebuilt. And you can see the arch there from the front of it. And then the old palace of the king, Portugal over there. Okay, so this is the Tower of Belém. Belém means Bethlehem in Portuguese. And this tower was built in 1502 to 1510, and it protects that opening to the estuary. You can see the other side of the river over there. They could blast anybody out of the water from this position at the Belém Tower. So we didn't go inside because it was a long, long wait to get in there. And this monument is just down from that, the Belém Tower. It's a monument to the discoverers, mainly Vasco da Gama and others. And it's built very near the site of where they used to have a church, where the sailors would go before they left on their long voyages down around Africa and to India and so forth. So this is inside the church, and this is Louis de Camões, who was a 15th century author and poet that they revere, like Shakespeare, them. And this cathedral here was built over the ruins of the old church where the sailors used to congregate before they left on their voyages. and it was built in the 15th century. And I can't figure out how they built those vaulted ceilings back in the 15th century. It would be a difficult task for us building those today, and yet they somehow figured out how to do it. It's just so amazing how, again, how much man has spent in terms of money and effort to build uh, churches and mosques and whatnot. Beautiful stained glass. And then right at the end of this, you're going to see where Vasco da Gama is actually entombed. He's in this cathedral. That's beautiful. Look at those vaulted ceilings. I think with the scaffold we have today, it would be difficult. I don't know how they did it back then. Okay, so coming up on your right is going to be the tomb of Vasco da Gama. There he is, right there in that elevated tomb. That's Vasco da Gama's actual burial location. So that's pretty much what we saw today in Lisbon, and here's our sail out, going out past that bridge again. That is the sister of the Golden Gate Bridge. Beautiful place. Stay tuned tomorrow for Porto, Portugal. We'll be producing another video from our adventures in Porto, so stay tuned for tomorrow.